I find this second game of week 2 of the finals to be pretty interesting here. We've got the Sharks v the Rabbitohs. If you're looking at straight stats from last week, you see some obviously inflated stats there for the Sharks, given us such a back and forth affair. Over 80% completion rate for both those teams there and the 93 minutes. So just be aware of that when you're looking at those stats. And when you're looking at the Bunnies stats, a little bit more of a stop-start affair for them. And you'll notice a few of the forwards, for example, Rabbitohs, these type of players, that their stats were down a little bit compared to normal. So just be aware of that when you're going through these players. In the outside backs, there's plenty of good options, and you obviously start with Latrell. If you have that extra cash, which I feel like it's going to be hard to achieve in this game when you have guys like Nico Hines and Damien Cook, Cam Murray, that you'd probably want to select in your side. So I think there's enough value lower down the list than to pick Latrell. Yes, he's been super consistent, getting over 50 every game. But can you get a 50 or a 40 odd from one of these guys down below? And I think you can. And that's Campbell Graham, Talakai, I think Isaiah Tass and Ronaldo Mulatalo are probably the four to select here at that much cheaper price. So you can really go down to Ronaldo and also Tass there very easily. They've been scoring pretty well. 35 is his lowest Ronaldo in his last 5 games. So he's been great for an 11,800 price tag. You got Isaiah Tass as well, that 12,000 mark, who has scored 440s out of his last 5 games. So plenty of value there. Obviously, you guys that can go a little bit higher would be Talakai or Graham, but they come at a slightly increased price there. So, Graham playing great footy, amazing game last week. We're still only at 36 points, so you could probably get some more value out of those other 3 guys. And I wouldn't really be looking any lower than that. So, very interesting way to play it down there in the outside backs. With your halves and hawkers, Nico Hines, the clear best option, but obviously pretty expensive at 24,220. As I said, if you're looking to pick higher in Latrell or Damien Cook or even a Cam Murray or something like that, it could be hard to get Hines in. But if you're just looking at his stats solely, obviously last week a little bit inflated with the extra minutes, but other than those two, 56 is his lowest by far in the last bunch of games. So he's been great. Get Damien Cook, obviously last week not his best game, but I think he can bounce back pretty comfortably in this one. And we're looking at Blake Bradley, had an enormous amount of tackles last week, so had a big inflated score, but has been pretty solid around that. So him at 17k is decent. I think you can get some nice value out of Cody Walker, who's been really, really consistent. Again, 42 is lowest in the last 5 games, and at 14,700, he's someone that you could plug in pretty comfortably. Lockie Ilias as well, coming off a fairly consistent overall as well. 25 is lowest in his last 7. He's been solid, and I think you can do worse than picking him up, even if it was in the flex, and very much similar to Matt Moylan, who had his lowest game in a while last week, and I think can bounce back from that. But I would probably go a little bit safer with guys like Cody Walker and obviously Nico Hines, etc. there. If we're looking at the forwards, obviously a bunch of guys up top that are going to be great options. Cam Murray coming off a 65 for him at 20,000. That's plenty of value there. Cam McInnes, so you get him at 2k cheaper, and he's obviously had a really big game last week, close to 70 minutes for him, and a massive score. And the 2 games before, 57 and 61. Finucane didn't play 1 or 2 of those, so just be aware of that. But McInnes should be playing big minutes off the bench and getting right into the grind with the Bunnies forwards, who are doing really well. You can see the big challenge he's going to have with Cam Murray, with Rabbitohs. Obviously, Burgess is going to be there, but Mark Nichols will step up with minutes, for example, in that one. You're looking at Colin Matangi and Nakora, have both been solid options as well. Britain's been much more improved. You see the last 6 weeks there, he hasn't hit under 50, so that price is good. Keen on Colin Matangi, obviously a little bit more up and down, but he has a chance to come out and do well. Also, spoke about Totola, just had that 30 odd last week and could bounce back to those 50s he's been averaging. Jai Arrow, another one good in that price point, around that 15,290 there as a decent one. Finucane could have a bigger game just with how important he is to this side in finals time. And you got Rudolph, who's been scoring okay also. Around the cheaper price points, I think Wade Graham would be pretty close to a must-have. I think he, in finals especially, is someone who's super important to this team. He offers a bit of an extra dynamic as well, a left foot against a team where you need to be a little bit more unpredictable, given they're such a good outfit defensively as well. So I think Wade Graham is going to be one of those guys that needs to play big minutes and get really involved in attack and also defense there to help out his squad. Mark Nichols could be that guy that gets a few extra minutes, as I said, and gets you somewhere above a 30 odd, which would be worth it at that price. So if you need someone that cheap, then he could be a guy. And Royce Hunt, obviously a lighter game last week at 31, but anything over 35 and you'll be happy with that for Royce. But that's probably all I'm going to talk about here. I think really got Hamlin Uele if you can get a try out of him. You got Fafita who could play some okay minutes, but again, that hasn't happened in the last 2 weeks. So they're all just something to think about there. But that is the second game of the week, guys. I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope you have a cracking weekend. Jump in that description, hit that sign up link, and let's get playing on Draftstars. Gamble responsibly, guys, and have a good day.